TimeSplitters 2. What a game. It was one of the games I grew up with. It could be unfair and brutally difficult, but I have great memories of it. So when I heard about TimeSplitters Rewind, I was genuinely excited. This fan project allowed me to play TimeSplitters 1 for the first time. But the first game's story design is very simple, like you enter a level, retrieve the objective, and escape. There's no cutscene, no dialogue. It just wasn't as memorable as TS2 for me. Then one day I stumbled across Onyx Leviathan video on TS2. It is a great video about the levels, characters and everything that makes the game special. I highly recommend watching it. He also mentioned playing the game through Dolphin with a mouse injector, so I decided to download it and try it myself on the first mission of TS2, Siberia. So the mouse injector works very well. The game felt way much easier like this, but one of the core features of TimeSplitters is to play on co-op. So I was wondering if I could make this mouse injector works in co-op. So my first idea was Parsec, but we will still share one Dolphin instance, so the second player will still need a controller. That was not the two mouse setup I wanted. After looking around a bit, I discovered that Dolphin has NetPlay. What is NetPlay? With this feature, each PC runs its own copy of the game. Dolphin then synchronizes the inputs so that both games produce the same result. That was exactly what I was looking for, so I couldn't wait to try it. I installed the Injector on a second PC and modified it to control player 2. I tried moving the camera, but as you can see, each Injector only affected his own game. The camera movement was never sent to the other PC. That made the problem crystal clear. To make this work, the mouse data had to go through NetPlay. Dolphin is open source, so I forked the project and started exploring the code. This is where I brought in Codex. I use it to navigate the codebase, understand NetPlay, and prototype the first changes. It made the investigation way faster, but every change still had to be built and tested on both PCs. That work became NP2MI, a custom Dolphin build for two-player mouse aiming over NetPlay. With the mouse data now traveling through NetPlay, the next challenge was making sure it reached the right player. TimeSplitters 2 stores its camera data differently across levels and game modes. Early versions could move the wrong player or even both players at once. After a lot of testing, NP2MI could reliably identify both players and link each mouse to its assigned GameCube port. With player detection working, the next issue appeared when player 1 used a sniper rifle. While scoping, tiny mouse movement caused huge camera jumps, while player 2 remained smooth. The injector was reading the wrong value. Finding the correct FOV for each player fixed the problem. Sniper aiming was fixed, but the security cameras and turrets presented a different problem. The camera values were not directly available in memory, so the only option was to turn mouse movement into virtual SysTick input in those sections. Converting the input was only half the job. I still have to figure out the right stick threshold, so even small movement could turn the camera smoothly instead of causing a snap. One turret needed an extra fix, the one in Robot Factory. While aiming, the mouse stays inside the highlighted area and no longer resets to the center, making much more comfortable to aim. This made the turret section somewhat playable, although vertical movement can still feel uneven in a few places like Siberia or Planet X. Now that you know how it works, here is how you can try it. Download the latest portable release from the GitHub page linked in the description. Extract the archive, then launch Dolphin. The portable release already has a TimeSplitters keyboard and mouse profile loaded. For NetPlay, the default hotkeys are already configured. Press 4 to toggle mouse injection, 5 to switch between mouse and native camera controls, and numpad minus or plus to adjust sensitivity. You can change them under Options, Hotkey settings if needed. Before starting, both players need the exact same NP2MI version on the same TimeSplitters 2 game image. Open Tools, then start NetPlay. One player needs to host the session and select the game, while the other just needs to join. I won't cover port forwarding here since it depends on your router and is already well documented online. Under the data menu, make sure no save data, sync air codes, strict setting syncs are enabled. Once the game starts, each player presses 4 locally to enable mouse injection. In the game's controls options, turn inverse look and auto look ahead off, as it interferes with mouse aiming. If the default layout feels awkward, switch the controller configuration from classic to custom. You can then swap crouch and secondary fire or remap any keybinds you prefer. And that's it, you're now ready to play the campaign. Thank you for watching all the way to the end. As for the roadmap, I do not want to promise anything yet, but my next focus will probably be TimeSplitters Future Perfect. After that, I would like to explore mouse support for up to 4 players in arcade mode. Feel free to join the TimeSplitters Discord servers for updates, help, or simply to find other people to play with. The links are in the description. Thanks again, and I will see you there.